Welcome! I'm Tim from Your Six Studios. Today we will be looking at Fortnite. Will it still be popular in 5 years? To do this, I think it's very important that we look at what elements in the game will allow Fortnite to push past its initial release date to still be relevant in 5 years down the road. Let's go ahead and dive into the video right now. Fortnite was first announced at the 2011 Spike Video Game Awards by the veteran developer Epic. The guys behind some of the most badass games in the early 90s and 2000s. You know, the Unreal Tournaments, the Gears of War, the Jill of the Jungles. In April 2014, Fortnite's closed alpha signups began, and the game was revealed to be aimed towards a free-to-play model. In December 2014, the first round of Fortnite's alphas began. A couple of years later, and Fortnite became available for early access on the Windows, Mac, Xbox, PlayStation for those who pre-ordered the game on July 21st, 2017 and July 25th, 2017 for those who did not pre-order it. The game launched with no PvP element to it, only Save the World. It was a zombie building survival game. After seeing the massive success of PUBG, Epic Games decided to give the Battle Royale genre a try. They started working on a Battle Royale mode of Fortnite. The game most of us know and love. In a matter of months, Epic Games was able to create the most addictive, most hot game of 2017 and 2018. On September 26, 2017, Fortnite Battle Royale was released. After release, the game saw many updates and the battle passes were added, allowing players to level up to obtain gear. Seasons were also added, which brought new loot. Fortnite also made history 1 year after its release. It became the first cross-platform game to allow Switch, Xbox, mobile, PC, Mac, and PS4 players to play on one server at the same time, further adding to the awesomeness of Fortnite. Also, Save the World will be free in 2018 as well. The elements that Fortnite has that will make Fortnite future-proof, I think, are building, competitive play, continual updates, free-to-play, Save the World, multi-platform, free-to-play. With all these features mentioned, I think it's also important to use past games as reference that have successfully adapted these features and are still relevant today. Games like Minecraft, PUBG, Warframe, Counter-Strike, and EverQuest. These are games that are still relevant today and have implemented similar features of Fortnite. Knowing this, let's dive into these features and find out a little bit more about them. The building in Fortnite makes me reminiscent of my Minecraft days. The endless building for fun, to be creative. I think this element of the game appeals to people who like creative games such as Minecraft and Roblox. I think Fortnite meshes the world between third-person shooter and creation video games like Minecraft. Also, to point out, the building aspect of Fortnite is what set it apart from PUBG. It is what made Fortnite unique. PUBG was the king of Battle Royale games at the time. I heard this quote somewhere along the lines looking for YouTube help videos. It goes like this: "It's better to be different than to be better." Meaning Fortnite could have easily did exactly what PUBG did. Became better. But they decided to be different by adding building. This was a decisive call that fortified Fortnite as the genre leader. Would Fortnite have been as popular without building? I think yes. But would it have been as popular? I don't think so. I think the building, although I dislike it myself, adds a level of intensity to the game that PUBG just didn't have. I found myself in many build-offs where I can feel my heart beating, and the enemy and I am doing a dance-off of death, while we both try to outbuild each other for position to get the lethal blow on the other. Moving on to my next point, competitive play is worth a mention. Esports are big. So big, ESPN has taken notice, and even displayed tournaments on their channel. Games like Counter-Strike Global Offensive have a popular esports scene, and bring in millions of dollars and millions of viewers. It comes to no surprise if games are going to be popular down the road. Exposure from tournaments and competitive play, with tournaments being frequently broadcasted on Twitch, I think it gives people a reason to watch. It gives the game extra purpose. When I was a kid growing up, I looked up to my favorite professional Halo players. I want to be in tournaments. I want to compete with the best. I think that feeling is alive in Fortnite as well after watching tournaments. Ninja has made a name for himself as one of the best, and there's this one guy who is now a myth. I can't really recall his name, but he was popular one day. Going forward with Fortnite, I can see esports and tournaments being a bigger and bigger aspect of the game. And with continual updates, the game is going to slowly change into a more esports focused game. I think we are already seeing signs of that in Fortnite today. More important than the competitive scene of Fortnite is the continual updates in the game. Fortnite used to look so much different from when it first launched. They have overhauled the look of the game to make everything cartoonish, but marvelous in its own right. I think this art style they have in the game right now is going to look great 5 years down the line. I can see Epic Games adding more improvements to how this game looks as time goes on. Besides the look of the game, the continual updates I think are the lifeblood of why games have extended lives. For instance, EverQuest, the massively popular MMORPG that came out in 1999, it has seen years of expansion drops after expansion drops, adding new locations, quests, and content. And when will this game die? It seems like people still can't get enough of their EverCracked. Just like EverQuest, I think the content updates will spark new interest back into the game for fans who have decided to take a break for a while. The map changes are definitely going to help in this regard to Fortnite. It's fun to jump in and see what they have changed from season to season. Also, I can't recall a game that's so good at staying relevant in terms of their update category. We saw this new Thanos update, which was awesome. Fortnite seems like it's piquing my interest by adding new locations, new guns, new devices, new game modes, and season events. It makes me want to continue to see what's going on in the future in the Fortnite world. I feel invested in the changing world that is Fortnite. If they can continue to capture this, I can see myself playing this game for years to come. And so far, I think they've done an excellent job at this. One nice thing that has helped people care about the world of Fortnite was how easy it was to jump in and play. Fortnite Battle Royale was free to play. For me, being primarily a PlayStation gamer, I wanted to try out the new Battle Royale genre, but there was no games like that on the PlayStation 4 at the time. Then, all of a sudden, I remember Fortnite launched on the PlayStation 4. I jumped in and played the same day. I didn't have to invest in the game. I didn't have to buy a cool new skin. I just had to download the game. And I think this was a great move by Epic Games. The thought of a free-to-play game making money is a hard concept for me to grasp economically, but they played the market excellent. Maybe they knew back then when Fortnite was launching the average person was going to be spending about $75 plus on their product, but in any regards, they were freaking geniuses. My point is, this game became instantly accessible by millions of people. I think it was very important that Fortnite was riding the wave of success of PUBG. I don't think this game would have received the same level of attention if it wasn't. How many free-to-play WoW clones are out there that nobody knows about or nobody cares about? There's so many! With Fortnite in the Battle Royale genre, it's PUBG, H1Z1, or maybe DayZ. There wasn't a lot in this genre. Releasing on the PlayStation 4, however, there was no other Battle Royale game to contend with. For people like me who want to try out PUBG, Fortnite was all we had. Looking at other free-to-play games that have survived, I think Warframe would be a great example. Warframe came out in 2013. It's already at that 5-year mark that I'm trying to claim Fortnite will reach. It's seen the light, and it's still popular, and it's mentioned in the gaming world. If Warframe has a chance at being relevant, I think Fortnite will too. In 5 years. Also, Warframe has similar features to Fortnite. It has a free-to-play model. It has so many good updates to it too. Also, whenever I see a Destiny trailer that comes out, there's always that one person in the comment section that's like, Warframe is better than Destiny. It happens. Also, in terms of the updates, they've added PvP, player spaces, trading spaces, large open worlds, boss battle. This game just keeps giving players an incentive to keep coming back. Just like the open world continent update in Warframe, I think a large portion of Fortnite's mini players haven't experienced the full game yet. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Save the World. It's been behind a $30 paywall so far. To tell you the truth, I'm not even sure what goes on in it right now. When I first heard about Save the World and Fortnite in general, it was a zombie survival game with a building mechanic to it. I have never dived into Save the World yet because I've been having so much fun with the main portion of the game, the Battle Royale, the PvP portion. However, Save the World is going to be free to play later in 2018. A large portion of the game that people still haven't experienced yet will be available free for all. This is where I'm most curious to see what direction Epic Games will take. What will Save the World evolve into over time? They've been so great with these updates for the Battle Royale portion. In a year from now, will Save the World be just as popular as the PvP? Could they be adding more RPG elements to save the world? What about base building elements? What about adding a social space where you can show off your Fortnite skins and achievements? I feel like this portion of Fortnite, any of what I mentioned, is possible. Take Warframe. It was an instant space game that added large open world continents. It evolved over time. And I don't think we've seen all there is to offer in the co-op version of Fortnite. Once it goes free to play, save the world, I'm curious to see how it will evolve. I know I will be checking out when it goes free to play, sometime in 2018. I'm interested in seeing how it is. I think this is a very important move into keeping Fortnite alive down the road. For people who became disinterested in the PvP, they have an outlet to relax and not play Fortnite competitively, but cooperatively with friends. That's an aspect of the game I feel I've been missing out on so far. Furthermore, Fortnite has done something no other game has done yet in history. It has put Sony in a position to change their minds in allowing crossplay with their main competitors, Xbox and Nintendo Switch. This is a game-changing stance. As a result of this, we will see more and more games become cross-platform. How is this relevant into keeping Fortnite alive in the future? Well, I think it's important because it increases the player counts and the population for the servers that people play on. There's many games that I love I can barely play right now because the online population is so low, like Doom 2016 for the PlayStation 4. I can barely find matches 2 years after the game came out. With crossplay, all the platforms' populations are pooled into one instead of separate entities, allowing for a greater likelihood of finding a match. Now, I don't see this being a problem for Fortnite anytime soon, but somewhere down the road in the game's life, it will make a difference when the population of the game starts to go down and down and down. For me, playing Doom, I'm turned away because I can't find matches. Crossplay will allow Fortnite to trickle past its previous life expectancy and live longer than it would have. It's been over a year since Fortnite launched. We haven't seen any signs of the game dying just yet. Last month, Fortnite recorded its most active month in terms of its player base, and using games as reference like Minecraft, which came out in 2009, it's possible to have an active player base that stays high over the years. Minecraft currently has more active users in a month than Fortnite. Did you know that? The game is almost 10 years old. So does Fortnite have a chance to still be popular at 5 years? From speculating at features that have been implemented into the game so far, and using past games with similar features that are still relevant in today's standards, Minecraft, Counter-Strike, Warframe, the popular free-to-play game, EverQuest, the legendary MMORPG, I think the likelihood is very high. And I think Epic Games is looking at Fortnite as a long-term game that they are going to be continuing to support and provide content updates for years to come. I personally want to thank you guys for watching. This is Tim from YourSixStudios, and let me know down in the comments section below if you think Fortnite will still be popular in 5 years.